Hi students, welcome to history class. Before starting lesson, I am asking some questions from previous class. Who was the founder of Turkish rule in Central Asia? Altazim. How many times Muhammad Ghazni attacked on India? 17 times. What are the effects of Muhammad Ghazni's attack on India? Muhammad Ghazni carried enormous gold ornaments and wealth from India to Ghazni. Second, Shivalinga of Somanath temple destroyed. Third, economic condition of India weakened. These are the three effects of Muhammad Ghazni's attack on India. Next, when and between whom the second battle of Tehran took place? Between Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori. Second battle of Tehran took place in 1192. What was the result? Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated and killed. Delhi came under the control of Muhammad Ghori. Now we may learn what are the effects of Turkish rule on India. Okay, political implications. Okay, effects in the field of politics. First one, political system consisting of small kingdoms vanished. Okay, political system consisting small kingdoms vanished or destroyed. During the rule of Rajaputs, okay, they divided kingdom into various parts and each kingdom one king. In this way they followed. Okay, but after the attack of Turks on India, political system consisting of small kingdom vanished. Okay, so existence of small kingdoms came to an end. Okay, later what happened? Centralized rule of sultans who had immense power at Delhi come into existence. Okay, centralized rule of sultans who had immense power at Delhi come into existence. Okay, centralized rule of sultans who had immense power at Delhi come into existence. Okay, clear this? Here, only one rule of Delhi sultans that come into existence, and whole power is in the hands of only one sultan that comes. As a result, whole North India came under one rule. Okay, as a result, North India came under one rule. Okay, during the rule of Rajaputs, they divided kingdom into various parts. Okay, each kingdom was under the control of one king. But here what happened? Whole North India came under the control of one king or one rule. Okay, these are the political implications of Turkish rule on India. Not only this. Okay, here system of administration also completely changed from the system of Rajputs. Okay, administration system also changed. Here Sultan had full power to appoint or dismiss the soldiers. Okay, Sultan, Delhi Sultan had absolute power to appoint or dismiss the soldiers. Who got the power to appoint the soldiers? Sultan, Delhi Sultan. King got full power to appoint soldiers and dismiss them from power also. Okay, so both soldiers were appointed and dismissed by Sultan. Okay, then military system also completely changed. Okay, military system also completely changed. Okay, then soldiers were directly appointed by the Sultan. Okay, soldiers directly appointed by the Sultan or king. Okay, king directly appointing the soldiers. Okay, so soldiers remained loyal to king themselves. Okay, so soldiers remain loyal to king directly. Soldiers remained loyal to king. Okay, here soldiers always remained loyal to king, or they must give respect to king. Okay, why? They were all under the control of king. Okay, this way, due to Turkish rule on India, India got connected with all countries of the world. Okay, India developed relationship with all countries of the world. These are all the political implication of rule of Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori on India. Clearly, now we may learn about Delhi Sultans. After the victory of Second Battle of Tehran, Muhammad Ghori appointed his slaves to look after the administration of India in conquered areas. Then when he returned back to Ghor kingdom, he was murdered by his enemies. So the rule of Muhammad Ghori came to an end. Okay, but when he was alive, he appointed his believable and trusty commander or slave called Qutbuddin Aibak to look after the administration of Delhi in India. Okay, Muhammad Ghori appointed his believable commander or slave, okay, to look after the administration of Delhi. Okay, here Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, when Muhammad Ghori was alive, he appointed his believable commander or slave called Qutbuddin Aibak to look after the administration of Delhi in India. Clear this? Here Qutbuddin Aibak, he was the most believable commander of Muhammad. Qutbuddin Aibak was responsible for victory of Muhammad Ghori in the Second Battle of Tehran. So he appointed Qutbuddin Aibak to look after the administration of Delhi in India. Okay, so here Qutbuddin Aibak, he made Delhi was his capital. Okay, he made Delhi was his capital. Okay, next, other military generals of Turks, they accepted Qutbuddin Aibak as their sultan. Okay, other military generals of Turks, they accepted Qutbuddin Aibak as their sultan. Okay, remaining some military generals of Turks, okay, they accepted Qutbuddin Aibak as their king or sultan. Clear this? In this way, Qutbuddin Aibak became the founder of slave dynasty. Okay, Qutbuddin Aibak became the founder of slave dynasty. Slave or Ghulam dynasty. Okay, in this way, rule of Turks started by Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, it was continued by some other dynasties like Khilji dynasty. Then Tughlaq dynasty, next Lodi dynasty and Sayyid dynasty. Okay, in this way, Delhi was ruled by total 5 dynasties. Okay, clear this? Which are those 5 dynasties? One slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Lodi dynasty and Sayyid dynasty. Okay, first the rule of Turks started by Qutbuddin Aibak. Later it was continued by Khilji, Tughlaq, Lodi and Sayyid dynasties. In this way, Qutbuddin Aibak became the founder of slave dynasty. Clear this? Okay, he was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. Okay, so dynasty founded by him is called slave dynasty. Clear this? We may learn about slave or Ghulam dynasty. Qutbuddin Aibak was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. So he started his rule in Delhi as slave. Okay, here Qutbuddin Aibak started his rule in Delhi as slaves. Okay, so here people who succeeded Qutbuddin Aibak, okay, they were also slaves. Okay, successors of Qutbuddin Aibak were slaves. Okay, so dynasty founded by slaves came to be known as slave dynasty. Qutbuddin Aibak was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. He started his rule in Delhi as slave. Okay, so successors of Qutbuddin Aibak came to be known as slaves. Okay, successors of Qutbuddin Aibak or who came to power after Qutbuddin Aibak, they came to be known as slaves. So dynasty founded by slaves came to be known as slave dynasty. Okay, so slave dynasty was ruled by some other slaves. Okay, like Iltamish. Okay, then Rajia Sultana and Ghiyazuddin Balban. Okay, they were the other 3 famous rulers of slave dynasty. Okay, Iltamish, Rajia Sultana, Ghiyazuddin Balban. Okay, totally Ghulam dynasty or slave dynasty was ruled by Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltamish, Rajia Sultan and Ghiyazuddin Balban. Clear this? Now we may study about these slave rulers one by one about Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of slave dynasty. he laid strong foundation for Delhi Sultanate rule in India. Qutbuddin Aibak was a founder of slave dynasty. Then he laid strong foundation for Delhi Sultanate rule in India. Okay, in India, the rule of Delhi Sultanates started by Qutbuddin Aibak. So he laid strong foundation for Delhi Sultanate rule in India. Okay, Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of slave dynasty and he laid strong foundation for Delhi Sultanate rule in India. Then he belonged to the family of Aibak was small or minor. He was sold to the Kashi of Nishapur by his parents. Okay. Kashi of Nishapur by his parents. Okay, when Qutbuddin Aibak was very small, then he was purchased as slave. Okay, to Kashi of Nishapur by his parents. Okay, then Qutbuddin Aibak got education in Arabic and Persian language. Not only this, he was very expert in archery, horse riding and soldiering also. Okay, he got education in Arabic and Persian languages. Okay, then he was very expert in archery. Do you know about archery? Person who is expert in using bows and arrows. Okay, that is called archery. Okay, not only this, he was expert in horse riding. Okay, he was expert in riding horses also. Then he was expert in soldiering, or he was a very expert soldier also. In this way, Qutbuddin Aibak has all the best qualities to become a Delhi Sultanate. Okay, next. Muhammad Ghori purchased Qutbuddin Aibak as his slave. Okay, Muhammad Ghori purchased Qutbuddin Aibak as his slave. When Qutbuddin Aibak working under Muhammad Ghori, he attracted the attention of Ghori by his bravery. Okay, here Qutbuddin Aibak attracted the attention of Ghori. How he attracted the attention of Ghori? By his bravery. Okay, he was a brave warrior. Okay, he has all the qualities to become a sultan. Okay, so when he worked under Muhammad Ghori, he attracted the attention of Muhammad Ghori. You know, second battle of Tehran fought between Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori. Okay, in this battle, Muhammad Ghori got a victory or success. So, Qutbuddin Aibak was instrumental in success of Muhammad Ghori in the second battle of Tehran. Okay, So later Qutbuddin Aibak become the successor of North India. During the rule of Muhammad Ghori, okay, after the death of Muhammad Ghori, he declared himself as independent king, okay, and he ruled Delhi under the title Sultan, okay. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, Qutbuddin Aibak declared himself as independent king and he ruled Delhi under the title Sultan. Okay, in this way Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of slave dynasty. Okay, in this way he laid strong foundation for Delhi Sultanate rule in India. Okay, next what are the achievements of Qutbuddin Aibak? First, he constructed Quwwat-ul Islam Mosque in Delhi. Okay, it is the big achievement of Qutbuddin Aibak. He built Quwwat-ul Islam Mosque in Delhi. Not only this, he started the construction of Qutub Minar. Okay, he started the construction of Qutub Minar. Okay, these are the two important achievements of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, he constructed Quwwat-ul Islam Mosque in Delhi. Later, he started the construction of Qutub Minar, but it was completed by Iltamish. Okay, he started the construction of Qutub Minar. Okay, then Nizami and Mudabir are the two poets lived in his court. Okay, so famous work Tajul Mazir. Okay, Tajul Mazir. It gives information about Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, these are all the achievements of Qutbuddin Aibak. Clear this? First, he constructed Quwwat-ul Islam Mosque in Delhi. Next, he started the construction of Qutub Minar, but it was completed by another slave ruler called Iltamish. Okay. Next, is quote as two famous poets. Who are those? One Nizami, another one Fakh-e-Mudabir. Okay, these are the two poets lived in the court of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, then a famous book called Tajul Mazir. Okay, this book gives information about life of Qutbuddin. About another important ruler of slave dynasty, Iltamish. Here, Iltamish belonged to the family of Ilbari and he was the administrator of Gwalior. Later, he became the Sultan of Delhi. Okay, he belonged to the family of Ilbari. Okay, and he was the administrator of Gwalior. Okay, later he was appointed as the Delhi Sultanate. But Ghazn's king Tajuddin Yildiz and Sindh's king Naseeruddin Qabacha, they could not tolerate the ascendance of Iltamish as Delhi Sultanate. So both declared war against Iltutmish, but Iltutmish defeated him successfully. Okay, Ghazn's king Tajuddin Yildiz and Sindh's king Nasiruddin Qabacha. Okay, both these kings, they could not tolerate the ascendance of Qutbuddin Aibak as Delhi Sultanate. Okay, Iltutmish appointed as the Delhi Sultanate, but two kings like Sindh's king Nasiruddin Qabacha and Ghazn's king Tajuddin Yildiz, both they could not tolerate ascendance of Iltutmish, ascendance of Iltutmish as Delhi Sultanate. So both declared war on Iltutmish, but Iltutmish defeated them successfully and he conquered various places to his control. Okay, which are those places? Like Ranthambore. Okay, Ranthambore, then Mandore, next Ajmer, Bilsa, Kannauj, Benares. Okay, all these places captured by Iltutmish. Okay, during the rule of Iltutmish, Mongolians attacked on India under the leadership of Genghis Khan. Okay, but Iltutmish made them to retreat successfully. Okay, as a result, Caliph of Baghdad gave him the title of later boasting administrative power. Okay, during the rule of Iltutmish, Mongolians attacked on India under the leadership of Genghis Khan. Okay, but Iltutmish made them to retreat successfully. Okay, but Iltutmish defeated them and made them to chase away from that place. Okay, they made them to retreat successfully. Okay, as a result, Caliph of Baghdad, they honored him. Okay, Caliph of Baghdad honored by a title called later boasting administrative power. Okay, these are all the achievements of Iltutmish. Okay, first the Mongolians attacked on India under the leadership of Genghis Khan. Okay, but Iltutmish defeated them and made them to retreat successfully. As a result, Caliph of Baghdad, they show appreciation to Iltutmish. How? By giving the title later boasting administrative power. Okay. How was the administration system of Iltutmish? Iltutmish divided his kingdom into provinces. Okay, and appointed provincial officials to look after these provinces. Okay, Iltutmish divided his kingdom into iqtas or provinces and appointed provincial officers or iqtadars. Okay, not only this, he appointed group of 40 sardars to advise him in administration. Okay, he appointed group of 40 sardars, okay, to advise him in administration. Okay, then prime minister and judges also used to give advice in administration. Okay, prime minister, okay, and judges also advised him in administration. Clear this? Iltutmish divided his kingdom into iqtas or provinces and appointed iqtadars, okay, to look after these provinces. Not only this, he appointed group of 40 sardars. Why? To advise him in administration. Not only this, prime minister and judges also advise him in administration. Okay, next, here Iltutmish brought new gold and silver coin into circulation. Okay, he brought gold and silver coin into circulation. Okay, this is also one of the great achievement of Iltutmish. Okay, then he completed the construction of Qutub Minar. It was started by Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, one more achievement. He completed construction of Qutub Minar. It was already started by Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, these are all the administrative achievements of Iltutmish. He brought gold and silver coin into circulation. Okay, next he completed the construction of Qutub Minar. Okay, these are all the administrative achievements of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so today's class we studied two famous rulers of slave dynasty. Okay, tomorrow class we may learn more about remaining two rulers of slave dynasty, Razia Sultana and Ghiyasuddin Balban. Thank you, students.